my favorite opera, which is the first opera that I watched, which was Traviata. It keeps on coming back, in my career. And for me, always I have that image, that moment, that when I first fell in love, with opera, with the music, with the drama, and I always remember that moment and say, I'm actually very lucky, and I consider myself lucky to be doing something that I love so much.
Good morning, Vuvu.
Hello.
It's so great to meet you here on Zoom.
Good to meet you too, finally.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you because you've got such a wonderful story and you've achieved so much, and it's so great to speak to you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
And like me, you're also a South African, which makes me very proud.
Yes. Okay, so you're South African too, and you from?
I'm originally from Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say about the Fall Triangle is the engine room of the country.
That's true. That's true. And you've been living in Vienna for long now?
Yeah, for about 9 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and where are you? Yeah, where are you from originally?
I'm currently home. Actually, I'm in Port Elizabeth.
Oh, I see. Okay, so and you grew up there? Oh, wow.
Yes, I grew up in Port Elizabeth, and then went to study in Cape Town, and then went straight to freelancing after that.
What is it about?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what is it about that part of the country that gives us all these beautiful singers?
I can never tell you. I think
it's in the water.
Maybe it's the culture. Because we have the culture of music, I guess, the culture of what they call isindo, the sound, and it's a lot of singers come from the Eastern Cape. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, and I guess it's culture. I'm not sure, but it's beautiful to see people, fellow Eastern Cape people doing wonderful in all these places. So
tell me, when did you start singing?
So I started singing from a very young age. I started singing because I come from a singing family. Everyone sings. They'll just burst into a song or something. So, but I used to stay with my grandmother from my father's side, and so it was just me and her. So she loved going to church, and I would go to church with her. I was around 6 years old, and I developed a love of music, and I used to sing gospel music and listen to, when it was cassettes, and then they always had those lyrics behind, on the cassettes, and so I used to sing along. So I used to sing along to those, and then my grandma encouraged me to try singing in church, and then I started singing in church, solos in church. And so that's where everything started, and then she told me, if you want this, you should ask God, you should pray and ask God for it, and then I didn't know at that time. And then I prayed about it. And so, and, years later, I'm doing music, I'm doing what I love. So,
isn't it amazing? So you taught yourself, you taught yourself to sing.
Not necessarily so, but I was part of there's a school choir. So I used to sing in the school choir. So they had like the choral I stood for, where it was school competitions, and they sang. Also, there was a category, an opera category. But then. And that when I first discovered opera, which was then when I was in high school, and then I told myself, I want to sing that. that I want to sing. And so I went to do all the research. I went to the library. I went to search opera, and got all the books about opera. And I know, and that at that time there was the next year they were singing Pamina from the Zauberflöte, and I there was a friend of mine who knew someone who had the DVDs of operas. And so I went to that person and borrowed DVDs. And then I remember they gave me a DVD of La Traviata with Angela Giorgio, and also and then the second one was the Zauberflöte. And I remember listening. The first one I listened to was Traviata. I know it blew my mind away. I was mesmerized. I was drawn in. I was like, okay. And then I listened to the DVD, which was the Zauberflöte, and I was able to learn the aria through came about, and then I learned the aria through the DVD, and then I went to compete after that, and then somehow I became second position in all over South Africa. And then for me, knowing that no one helped me, and then it was my first time, so for me it was quite an achievement, and but then I did have a music teacher who taught us in the choir, but then she didn't really teach me the opera side of the things, so which I tried to do myself and listen, and so for me it was it was exciting.
Yeah, but you've got this very, very lovely energy around you, and this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I can just imagine that it's also when you sing, and maybe it's also something that you really wanted. So this is why it came to you.
Yeah, I think so too. I always say things happen for a reason, and and also God put us in this world to fulfill something. We all have something that we need to fulfill in our lives, and I think this path is where I'm supposed to be, because even with my favorite opera, which is the first opera that I watched, which was Traviata, it keeps on coming back, in my career, and for me. Always I have that image, that moment, that when I first fell in love, with opera, with the music, with the drama, and I always remember that moment and say, I'm actually very lucky, and I consider myself lucky to be doing something that I love so much, and because some people don't get to enjoy what they do, what they their work, so exactly. For me it's what I love is actually work for me. So yeah.
And many singers from South Africa or in South Africa talk about the choir, that the love for the music also started with the choir, and you saying now with the gospel choir and in the church, and can you see that as well in your life?
Yes, very much so. Because in high school, I was a part of an adult choir, which was outside of school, obviously, and I was part of the school choir as well. So it's part of the culture, it's culture here in South Africa. There's a choir culture, and which is for us, it's mainly where we start. Learning how to sing, how to perform, so it's a big thing. It's actually a big thing in South Africa, being part of the choirs and singing, with the choirs. Yeah. So it has been part of my life also.
And also the choirs. I sang also in a choir when I was in high school, and I know the choir also, apart from the singing, it brings this community feel, and it's bringing people together, and it's sort of, you have this one goal, and everybody has the same goal, to sing and to be together, and that's also beautiful.
Yeah, that's true, because also, coming from a township, there's a lot of, crime, and it's easy for children to actually get into bad habits, So for me, it's a good thing because it's a way of kids to actually find something positive to do, and also it teaches discipline. It teaches discipline, and somehow that discipline you get to put it into everything that you do.
Exactly.
So it teaches you something. So it's really, really, really good that those kind of things happen.
Yeah, that discipline, that's also something that, many have told me. And also like Sonny Boy Dladla also talked about that, that discipline and that focus that you learn by singing in the choir. But Vuvu, I cannot imagine that you can ever have bad habits. You see, or fall into bad habits.
That's true. I've been a good girl. I've been a good girl. My mom was lucky. And I always follow the rules. I always follow the rules. Yes, I still do.
Oh, wonderful. But and then how did you end up in Europe? Or singing? How did you end up singing in Europe? Yeah.
And so I from discovering opera to singing in the school choir, and I from then I knew that I wanted to sing. I wanted to sing, and luckily I had a friend who knew that there was a program in Cape Town, like at the university, that actually you can go learn music. So for me, after that, I was like, okay. And then I went to apply. And then I actually had my audition on my birthday, which was 4th December. So so I auditioned, and then they took me, and I was like, okay. And then I went to university in Cape Town, and I started music, and a lot came with that, and then after that, I entered competitions, international competitions. My teacher back then, Patrick Tikolo, encouraged me to actually enter competitions, and I thought I was not ready. I was like, I'm not ready, but I was like, okay, because I'm one who I take challenges. I love challenges. I love challenging myself. So I always say, okay, let's try. So I did international competitions. I did the Belvedere and Operalia, which both of them I was part of the prize winners, so which was amazing. And I guess that's when actually the Belvedere, that's when I got discovered by my agent, and then he decided to come to Cape Town and audition me, and he knew Sarita Stern, who actually ended up being my teacher at a later stage. And so that's how everything started. And then I somehow, when you say when something is meant to be, it's meant to be. I somehow landed a gig, I would say, with Nedbank, which allowed me to have the audition tour around Europe and the UK. And so because I was, coming from townships, you don't have money, just there, so that you can travel. We don't have that. So luckily I got money from the Nedbank campaign, and then it allowed me to go to Europe and do audition tours and everything. And, things started happening from there. And I've been with my agent since then, and things have been happening. So it's been amazing. A roller coaster.
Yeah. But it's true that you say, people don't realize it always, but you can study singing and you can be a brilliant singer, but you have to go out and you have to go and audition, and that costs money. I mean,
that costs a lot.
Yeah, because
you have visa, you have flights, you have all the travel expenses, and no one has that money lying there, because we don't come from rich backgrounds, So the young kids now who are studying music, they always ask me, how did you do it, Sis Vuvu? How did you get to Europe? How did you find jobs, and what can I do? And I always tell them, I got lucky that I had I had that campaign, Netback campaign. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the money to go overseas. But so I always tell them, just find a sponsor, and find the sponsor, because there are organizations, sometimes in Cape Town, for instance, there is a Friends of Cape Town, where you can write them an email and ask them, if they can help, such organizations. Otherwise, other than that, you won't be able to go anywhere. You have to have assistance, especially as a young adult, where they don't have money, because they're still students, so they have to get help somewhere. Yeah.
But Vuvu, it's also young people also have to understand that you've been working almost your whole life to be a singer. You started at a young age, and you were committed, and you were dedicated to singing. And sometimes people think this just happened. Oh, you're lucky it just happened, but it's a long time that you've worked hard. Yeah,
it is. And also because I guess I got recognized by the people in the campaign by my competition, because it was through the competition. They saw a video of me of the competition that I went to, and then they were like, okay, wow, we can use her. So it is actually it is about working hard, and making all the sacrifices, learning about your art, learning about your voice, learning about discipline, learning about how to handle yourself on stage. And luckily, we had a good program at the University of Cape Town Opera School. They had a good program for us, where we learned the languages, like the introduction to languages, movement classes. They had operas, like 3 operas a year, where everyone got to be a part of the opera, and got to experience how it is to be on stage, through, like, from learning the music to actually being the person, the role, taking in the role, and becoming, making it your own. So they've taught us a lot, because when I actually went to Europe, it was actually easy for me to adapt to the surroundings and the workplace. So yeah.
But you had now a lot of experience as when you were young, and I also always think when you're young, you don't have all these inhibitions, and you don't have, you just do it.
Yes.
And the older you get, the more you start thinking of what you're doing. But you had all this experience of performing, actually, because you said you sang in the church as well. But do you find what do you find more difficult, playing the role in an opera, or just singing, maybe leader, or just when it's just you performing?
So I think what is difficult for me, it's I think that the most crucial part of learning a role is actually learning it, getting the notes right, and all of that, and also just putting yourself in, bringing the character and bringing it, because this is Vuvu. So I'm Vuvu, and I have different roles. So I need to bring those roles, them to become part of me also, to put some of my character into the role as well, because a lot of people have different renditions about, because a lot of people would do different, react differently, so it's all about finding yourself, in the role, and asking yourself, what would I do in this situation? It's always about that, So for me, it's the difficult part of actually learning something, becoming that role.
Yeah.
So but then after that, everything else is easy. I mean, of course, it's not easy, because you, as a performer, you are never satisfied. It's like, oh, I could have sung that better. I could have done that better. So it's the constant, your mind constantly saying to you, okay, did I do that correctly? But I think I did, So,
Yeah.
But I mean, I still every time I go on stage, I still get nervous, and like in a way, like I could actually even, throw up. I still get nervous a lot. So and for me, I think it's good in a way, because you never get comfortable, it's you never got comfortable. You always want to do more, you always want to do your best. And because people come to see you, so you have to be at your best. You have to give them all you have, and actually, so that I always want to go on stage and leave people, and so that at the end people can say, oh my God, what an experience, and I to change someone's way of thinking about music, to make them feel something. So that's always a goal of mine. So I'm always happy when someone says, you've made my night. And I'm like, okay, this is why I do it. This is why I do it. So yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that, because I spoke to a cellist once and he said to me the same thing. He said, even he's always grateful for the applause, but for him, it's that one person that comes to him afterwards and say, I had such a bad day and I wasn't really up for coming, but you just made it so wonderful for me tonight. You touched me. Yes. And that I always remember that he told me, and now you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's all about touching people's souls. It does something to you. It makes, it's like you're making a difference somehow. Yeah. I mean, I might not be a doctor and save people's lives, but somehow I make them feel good. So which is and also that's important. Happiness is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now coming back home, you must be a big example, a great example for the community, for what you've achieved. Do the people support you there?
I mean, I think mostly in because I grew up in PE, but I don't think a lot of people know me from here, except my family. But people from my family and closer relatives or friends, they are very supportive. And but in Cape Town, okay, everyone knows me. Then I have a lot of support there. But yeah, they it's good when even the younger generation, when they say, I look up to you. It's something that I don't take lightly, because and also I think of myself, okay, every time I do something, I'm like, you have a responsibility, to actually, because people are looking, are watching. So I have some form of responsibility to actually do better, do things, to keep on, to keep on doing what I'm doing, and make sure that I don't lose focus, so that, because I know that people are watching. And but at home, everything is, they are very supportive. And also because I have a baby, I have a 3-year-old, and she's, and so she stays with my family, so they are very supportive, because they take care of her while I'm away. So for me, I have an amazing family they're very, very supportive, and I couldn't ask for a better family.
Oh wow! That's so wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
But I'm just thinking now, it's because when I sometimes when I walk here in Vienna, I think to myself, I come from Vanderbilt Park, which is a industrial town. There's no theater, and I never even would have expected, when I was a child and even a young girl, I wouldn't have dreamt being here in Vienna, just walking and seeing all this. Now I'm thinking, you sing on these wonderful stages in Europe and these wonderful opera houses. Do you sometimes think like that? Do you sometimes have to pinch yourself and think, hey, I'm here now?
Yes, a lot of times, actually. A lot of times. I mean, I've been saying, how did I end up here? You're like, how did I end up here? It's amazing, because not a lot of people get to travel,
Yeah.
Some people they stay here in South Africa without even experiencing, it's a whole different world out there, experience of different cultures, different people, the way they do things. So every time I travel, I experience things, I see people, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm really here. This is actually my job. This is I get to visit places, I get to experience different food, different cultures, so I actually do have those experiences, and also and also being on different stages, because when I was studying at the university, you'd only watch productions, and you're like, oh, there's Met, oh, there's there's a Royal Opera House, oh, there's Paris, and not in my wildest dream did I think I would be like on stage at the Royal Opera House and be like and singing there. So I was like, oh my God. And also meeting opera stars, and I remember I was doing something at the Bayersiche Staatsoper. We were doing Parsifal. I was one of the nymphs there, and then Nina Stimmer was there, and Jonas Kaufmann. And in the room, I was like, I kept on looking at them. I'm like, and how they sang, how they carried themselves. I was like, oh my word. Yeah. I'm really here. I'm really singing with these people. And like, it was amazing. I was like, okay, this is it.
I can imagine. Yeah. But sometimes I think it's because I sometimes think because I come from that environment where we didn't have this. This is why I can appreciate it even more,
Yes, it makes you appreciate
and I get so
everything.
excited about everything.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate everything, every little thing about the arts and what we do. So yeah.
So are you going to encourage your little girl to sing as well?
Because she sings already. She sings. She actually sang while she was still young, and she sings herself to sleep, and she loves singing. Every time she'll be humming something, and even in her preschool they're like, Mila, she sings beautifully, So
really?
she's always singing everywhere. And so I mean, if that's what she wants to do, then I will encourage her. I will let her do what she wants, because there's nothing more satisfying and than to do what you love, So I will encourage her to do whatever she wants to do, because I think that's also because I know from my mom, when I told her that I wanted to do music, at first she was like, no, she was like, so what will happen if you suddenly lose your voice? What then? What would you do? And I told her, this is what I want to do. This is what I love. And if it doesn't work out, I'm still young. I'll just study something else, and we'll see, what happens. But when she first heard me sing, she went to watch one of the competitions. And then we came back home. She was like, Ndana, I give you my blessing. You can do whatever you want. You have my full support. And and then even when I went to the university, she spoke to my teacher and told him that he should actually look after me.
Oh, really?
And she called me every day to make sure. Did you lock the door? Are your windows closed? And and then she was really, really supportive. So and I would love to be supportive to my daughter as well. With whatever she wants to do. If it's music, then she should do it.
Yeah, I have also two of my children are ballet dancers, and I remember when they were little. Yeah, when they were little, I just always thought, do it until you can't do it anymore. Then you do something else.
Exactly. As long as it makes you happy.
Exactly.
As long as it makes you happy. Yeah, happiness is very important.
Yeah,
it is.
That's true. Vuvu, tell me, what are still now the wishes for you for the future? Where would you like to sing, and what would you like to do?
At the moment, obviously during COVID, everything just went, quiet, and everyone was still trying to figure out what next. And so I think at the moment I'm still also figuring things out, because it's, with motherhood as well, I'm still trying to figure out, because I do want it all, I want to be a mom. I want to be a hands-on mom. I want to sing. I want a good career as well, but it's very, very difficult to actually have the balance. So I'm trying at the moment to find the balance between being a mom, like a present mom, and doing my job as well, because I love singing. I can't imagine not singing. So at the moment it's just for me finding that balance of family and career. And because as women, it's always extra hard for us. So that's what I want to do. And also I would love to sing at the Met. I would love to sing big roles at the Met, at the Paris Opera. I want to be there. And also just improving, and also because I obviously when I had my baby, everything changed. My voice changed. So also I'm still discovering what I have now. With the changes of my voice. So I'm still figuring things out. And after 3 years, I think this year now, last year I started to actually calm down and and figure things out. And because I remember I lost the height of my voice, the top
Really?
notes, and I was and then it was like, oh my god, because that's where I was most comfortable, and then my voice actually got broader in the middle, and I was like, what is happening here? So I can't handle this. But now I'm at a point where I'm able to to know what my voice can do, with the changes that have happened. And and it's new repertoire, obviously, but also trying to get back the repertoire that I once sang, the Gildas, the highs, the high, because I enjoyed singing the Gildas. And
Really?
yes. And so it's so for me it's just finding the right balance between work and family, and also just also discovering more of my voice, and working technically, and actually becoming the best version of me, and just enjoying being on stage, and sharing myself with people, because I love doing that. And I love being on stage. I mean, wherever I am, I enjoy being on stage, whether it's a small theater, which is a big theater. For me, I'm always happy to sing for people. Yeah.
Well, I just think if you wait until your daughter is a teenager, you'll hit that high notes again easily. I can promise you that.
Well, I can't wait. I still want her to remain as little as possible. I just want to drag time so that she doesn't grow up that quickly. Because they grow up so fast.
Yeah, I always hear people complain about when the children are so young or little, when they run around and they're busy. And then I think, and when the mums then complain, then I think, oh, you don't know nothing. You know nothing. Wait till they're 13.
Exactly. I would say, and so I know a few people would say, Vuvu, enjoy the stage. Just enjoy it. Because also they're going to be adults, and then you don't know. They become independent, and then you don't have a hold on them anymore. You can't say anything. Yeah. You can't be said, okay, stop that, do that. No, they have their own minds. So so I want to cherish these years.
Yeah. when they're that age, you get a dog. That's how it works.
I'm not sure about pets, but yeah.
Vuvu, you're also mentioning now something that I heard before from an opera singer, that it's this role of mother and role of singer, and also I spoke to a ballet dancer, and she said that she found herself sometimes where, you know, she takes the last bow, and then when she gets up, then she's like suddenly realizing, hey, I'm a mum. I'm going home now. You know, that's it's like two worlds that you have to adapt to.
Yeah.
So it's always for me great when you talk about these things, because it's something that I think as an audience member or as people from the outside, from the industry, don't realize it's not a 9 to 5 job that you have, that tonight you're home and, you know, you're if you have to work, or you're full time with your baby. So there are these sacrifices, but so in the end, it's like somebody said, if you are fulfilled in what you do, then you're always a better mum for it also.
Yeah. I mean, for me at the moment, it takes a lot for me to actually know that okay, actually what I'm doing is I'm also doing it for her, you know, so that she knows that she can follow her dreams as well. But you know, when I feel guilty every time, because I've missed all of her birthdays, the first, the second, the third. You know, I haven't actually celebrated her birthday with her, and so I always feel guilty. And you know, and when I go home, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, you know, I can't travel with her because I'm also a single mom, so I can't travel with her really. And also because she started preschool, so I want her to have a bit of stability as well, you know. So it's always hard. It's always hard because in as much as I'm happy, you know, that okay, I finished the show and it was amazing, but then you go home, you go to to an Airbnb or a hotel, you're like, oh yeah, I miss my baby. I miss I miss her so much. And you know, and then also because she always says, Mommy, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And I'm like, oh. And also because now I arrived on Sunday and I'm leaving on Friday. So I don't have any much time to spend with her. And today, when I was preparing her to go to preschool, she cried, and then she was like, no, come with me. And no, I can't come. I can't go with you because you have to go to preschool on your own. And then she was like, but you won't be here when I come back. And I was like, no, I'll be here. No, so it just broke my heart, you know, because she's expecting that I won't be here. You know, which is it's really hard. But and also I think it's high time we actually put that out there, you know, that we are women. We want the career, but we're also moms, you know. We also we juggle a lot, and I think it's not a topic that is talked about a lot. And I know recently there was a singer at the Met who actually they cancelled everything of hers because she had a baby and everything changed, you know. And it's how it is. Some people they get pregnant and they still can sing, you know, and it's amazing for them. But most of the people, you have a baby and after that the voice is gone. You know, you have to work again and to actually, you know, bring your voice back, or you know, or try to become the person that you were, or the singer that you were, or well, which is, you won't be that singer anyway, because a lot of things have changed. It's our bodies, it's the hormones, it's everything. You know, we just need to talk about this conversations so that people are aware, and also the people also who employ us, that they are aware that we have families, we're mothers, you know.
But I must tell you, I think it's a mum thing to feel guilty, because I was a full-time mum, and I always felt guilty that I couldn't give them everything because I didn't work and earn a salary. So we'll always feel guilty. So that's just how it is. But Vuvu, I wish you all the best. You've got such a beautiful story, such a beautiful personality, and
thank you so much. Thank you.
And I hope to see you in Vienna soon.
I hope so too.
You'll have to let me know. And
I will. I definitely will when I finally come sing there.
So that we grab a coffee and a nice cake.
Yes. Thank you. So thank you so much for having me here.
It's a great pleasure.
brava,